Well, I finally decided I'm going to go ahead and install this Pioneer radio into my car. I was going to wait until I got a 4-channel amp to run my speakers, since the car's got 4 speakers and this radio's only got 2 speaker outputs. But I'm going to go ahead and just put my all my speakers on the 2 outputs of this radio and just see how it does. I've got this radio, and also, since the dash of the car has been tragically cut to fit a DIN style radio, I got this new dash trim piece. So I'll go ahead and get to installing this. Okay, so this is what we got right now. This old Blah Pump Montreal CD34. This is actually my unit. The one that was in the car when I bought it didn't work. But the previous owners, as you can see, cut the dash to take a DIN size stereo. And it had some crappy old Pioneer CD player in it that didn't work. And I replaced it with this just so I'd have a radio. And now I got the Pioneer 8-track fixing to go in. And as you can see, they cut the original radio mounting frame. So I've got a new one of those that's going to be going in. And these are my 4 speaker wires. This car, when it was new, it originally had just an AM radio with just a single speaker in the dash. Previous owner also put in those Pioneer speaker grills, which I've got. There was no speakers back there when I bought the car. I put some Sonys from Walmart back there. I also put Sonys in the door. That is indeed my work. But I will be getting some, at some point in the future, I could get some nice metal musical note speaker grills to go over that. Now, there's a couple ways I can hook up these speakers. I could just hook them all together in parallel, but whenever you connect speakers together, it affects their total impedance. These are 4 ohm speakers. If I connect them in parallel, that'll give me a 2 ohm output for the radio. Now, the specifications for this Pioneer radio says that it can handle loads 2 to 8 ohms, but 2 ohms would be kind of pushing it. So just to kind of err on the side of caution, I'm going to stick with what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook the speakers in series for an 8 ohm load. So I'll get to hooking all this up. And yeah, I said I got that aftermarket fader knob that mounts under the dash, but that's for a line level signal. That's for connecting 2-channel RCA outputs to a 4-channel amp or 2 2-channel amps. That is not for speaker level signal. You'd probably roast that fader control. And I really wish the city of Farmer City would stop sounding the tornado sirens at noon, for fuck's sake. The first couple of weeks I lived in this town, I'd hear the tornado sirens and I'd think, God damn, is there always a tornado here? Is Godzilla always attacking Farmer City? Fuck. Anyway, I'm gonna start getting this shit done. Ooh, here's the old mounting bracket out, and you can see they hacked that shit up good. And the fact that I already have my dash all taken apart for some other work that is yet to be done makes this a little easier. Just move the instrument cluster out of the way and I can bring it in through here. Because honestly, I don't know how they got the original radio out. I'm guessing through there. But you got the passenger door mirror cable in the way. And whatever this other cable is back here in the way. Okay, well, it's in there, but I got a ways to go on that mounting depth. That's the real bitch of a task with these old shaft style radios, is setting the mounting depth. You got to loosen these 2 nuts and run them down until you get it in there just right. And I guess that's the one good thing about this den cutout, is gives me a little more room to do this. I got to get in behind and adjust the nuts, you know, behind there. Got to loosen these, reach behind there, loosen those up, or I'll actually run them down to get this to come out. And then once I get that mounting depth just right, then I tighten these down to secure it. Okay, this section here is being filmed with my HTC One M8, although it's not going to have the CyberLink watermark on it because this video will be put together on my laptop with Lightworks. But, as you can see, got series speakers there. Passenger side speakers, driver side speakers, front and rear. Got the FM playing. Stick an 8-track in there. Now I'll pair up the Bluetooth on my iPhone. Ooh, it's already paired. Okay. Oh, I got something up here.
Trop de souvenirs, de rêves et de soupirs, trop de jours à penser à toi. Trop de jalousie.
Getting into the higher volumes, this radio is struggling a bit. I can hear some distortion.
Avons-nous bien trop espéré, ou bien c'est la chance qui nous a manqué. Trop de désespoir, peut-être trop d'espoir d'inventer un amour nouveau.
Well, I'm gonna go get me something to eat. I'm gonna take this car into Clinton, get me something at McDonald's or maybe Hardee's, and I'm gonna see how it sounds on the road and determine whether or not I want to go ahead and put this trim piece on, or if I want to put the put that crappy Blawpunk CD player back in, which I don't know, as much work as it took to get this in here, I may just go ahead and leave it in, and worst comes to worst, I may just cut 2 of the speakers and just run with 2 speakers until I can get my 4-channel amp. It's kind of nice that this thing had banana plugs on it. The only wires I had to solder was the speaker wires where I hooked them in series. But yeah, I'll see how it sounds on the road and determine whether I want to just run with 2 speakers, put that radio back in, or if it's going to be good enough as it is. Okay, well, I just made the executive decision that that radio is not going back in. It's only about a minute later since that last clip, and I decided I'm just going to go ahead and put this on. This is basically got one big piece of double-sided foam mounting tape on it. It's got this release paper here. You just pull this off. It sticks up there, and then it's got these 2 clips here that hold screws in that go in there and there. So go ahead and put that on. Well, that looks a lot better. It's still not, quite right because it's not a Ford factory radio, but it's a hell of a lot better than a big ugly den cutout with that fucking shit down there in it. And what I decided I'm gonna do, if this thing doesn't have quite the output power, and if I decide I gotta have all 4 speakers, I'll just relocate that unit somewhere else, like under the seat, and I'll run the output of this radio to the auxiliary input on that one and just use that one as a 4-channel amp for this one. So that's this project. Go ahead and run it one more time with an 8-track.
Quiet, Dennis. Let's show the kids what a round is. You start, Archie. Then Ricky will join in. And finally you.
And this balance was a lot easier to use in the car than it was on the table because I'm not having to hold the radio. I can just pull it out. Well, the knobs don't hold on too good. Yeah, these knobs aren't even correct. This is what the Ford factory radio knobs look like. They matched the rest of the knobs in the dash. Now these are totally not the right knobs, but they sure as hell, this whole thing sure as hell looks better than that ugly DIN cutout. So yeah, thanks for watching. More to come later.
I sure hope you understand. Sometimes you gotta fight when you're a man. Everyone considered him the coward of the county.
Yeah, I just got back from a short trip, and well, I mean, I've been driving this thing for the past couple hours. I went into Clinton and had me a meal at Hardee's, and then went and got me some beer and smokes, and got back here and just went back out for a gallon of milk, which I forgot while I was in Clinton. And unfortunately, this thing does not quite have the output power to drive all four of my speakers, especially, you know, with them hooked in series at 8 ohms. It distorts pretty badly with the volume up about halfway, so it's really, and with my weather stripping being dry rotted out, I get a hell of a lot of wind noise in here. It's really hard to hear this thing on the highway. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is hooking that unit down there back up, but instead of putting it back in the dash, I'll probably stick it under the seat, run the output from this to the auxiliary input of that radio, and just use that as a temporary 4-channel amp until I can get a proper 4-channel amp. And one of these days I'll get my dash all put back together, and just some other work I needed to do that hasn't got done yet. I got an automatic headlight kit to install. It's got a sensor that goes on the dash, it detects night, turns the lights on automatically, but this car has those hideaway headlights which are vacuum operated, so I've either got to convert them to electric actuators, or I've got to get an electric vacuum switching solenoid to get them to open whenever the headlights come on. So got to deal with that situation. But yeah, that's the Pioneer TP9001 Bluetooth AM/FM 8-track player installed in my '79 Thunderbird. Sure as hell looks a lot better in the dash than that damn thing down there did with it, you know, hacked in there.